Well, folks, today is a truly exciting day as we have a collaboration with Southeast Tech Hub and Golden West Radio. My name is Daniel Espelien with Country 106.1, Sun 102, and CJ 1150. And of course, I'm here with Mr. Gordon Moore. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. And yeah, it is just so neat to be here in your building. Usually you come to the radio station, but we thought for a little bit more of an in-depth conversation, we would use your space and equipment so that way we could really hit home what the Ice Roll Conference is all about. You got to be pretty excited about this coming up here now.
Excited is one word. Anxious is another word, but that's all okay. Like, anxiety helps you get things done.
Exactly.
And thank you for coming over and spending the extra time to really dig deep into what the conference is really about.
And let's just get right into that. I think what a lot of people may not know is that the conference is really for them in our community.
100%. So, if you go onto social media or you're having coffee with friends or sitting down with your family and having dinner, a conversation will come up about, what's happening with the mine. Why is the new food court at the mall empty? Why is X franchise not moving here? Wouldn't it be great if we had that? Or why are so many of our youth leaving our community and not coming back? And at the core, what Seth is about, and then represented in the conference, that's what we're all about. We're not just something that's fun and cute about innovation and technology. Our goal is to create new businesses, new jobs, create a space and a place where our youth want to come back and live in or even educate themselves in. A good example is when I first came here, right? Because I'm newer to the community. When I first came here, I'm like, why is this community facing an existential threat? Why is it thinking it will no longer exist in 10 years when there's gold, like the saying goes, there's gold on them streets and everyone's walking over it. And when I say that to people, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about. So let me put it this way. Like, our communities, let's take the whole Southeast region. It's 40,000 people, and we're in a world of over 8 billion. Yet we've raised Dr. Eric Grimson, former chancellor of MIT, now academic chancellor. We raised Jeff Sandquist, VP of Microsoft twice, VP of Twitter. He's now running the AI division for Walmart, right? We have VPs of Apple. We have aerospace engineers. We're punching way above our weight. And so what is that? What is that all about? What's the gold? Well, the gold is like when something breaks here, like right now we're in harvest, right? If your combine breaks down, people don't go, oh darn, next year. They figure it out, they fix it, they solve the problem. Same with oil and gas workers. When something breaks out there, it's minus 40 and you got to get the pump jack working, you figure it out, you get it done. And that is what the buzzword resilience is about. And that is truly at the heart of what innovation is about. Altering a process to make something work better. And everything what I described there is that. So what can we do in our community to turn that innovation into more jobs? What can we do in our community when we're concerned about AI, rightfully so, might be taking away some of our jobs? Well, we have the spirit to get that solved. So when you come back to the conference, my goal is I want the community to see all the cool things that they've done, all the cool things that are coming into our community or have started in the community, and figure out ways from themselves to, create jobs, create businesses, create a space where the youth want to stay.
Before we talk about the conference, I think you hit on a really good point with young people not coming back to our community. And I think that's really going to start changing over the next 5 to 10 years with these opportunities. And also as more families realize how special it is down here with just the cost of living and how that can really give people a leg up when they're getting started in life.
Let's define like the youth leaving, because you mentioned it or wanting to stay, and I mentioned it leaving. So Stats Canada has a stat saying 60% of all youth in rural Canada leave their community and don't come back to pursue jobs foreign education and technology, right? Yeah, we're going to get small modular reactors, technology. Our healthcare system, we need skilled nurses and doctors in our community. The mine, coal to graphite, coal to hydrogen, those are skilled jobs that we need. So by combining education for those kids or those youth to stay, then we're going to keep those skills here. But to your point about like, we have so much to offer, like I'm from Vancouver, right? And I ran a software company for 20 years that I helped create. And my wife's a doctor, right? We couldn't afford Vancouver. It's $13,000 a month for a mortgage in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing, like to bring it down to something that's not dollars, is like every day, especially in the summer, when you're walking around, you have all these kids hanging out on their own, having a blast. Like where I'm at, there's a group of kids all just running around having a blast, and you hear all them having a lot of fun. You don't get that in the city anymore, right?
No.
It's helicopter parents, it's fear of the boogeyman, it's fear of the traffic. It's this place has a lot to offer. So if you combine those two, we have a lot to give to this world.
Exactly. And we have 11 people that are going to be helping out with this conference with special guest speakers. I know Dr. Michael Wagner was a big hit last year.
Yeah.
I just think anytime somebody says lasers, everyone kind of goes, oh, wow, lasers?
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, it'll be nice to hear what he has to bring to the conference this time.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of work. So if people are not totally up to speed on what we're talking about, Dr. Wagner for years had been looking at how to artificially create graphite. What's graphite? Graphite is in batteries. Graphite is an industrial lubricant. Graphite is your pencil. So there's all these different uses for graphite. And obviously, with batteries taking more and more need in our world, whether it's EVs, your phone, my camera, the mic, your computer, it's got graphite in it. So he came up with this wonderful process that's very unique that works so well with our type of coal, being lignite coal. And it turns it into graphite. So we've been working with him for a couple of years, the city of Estevan, the economic development, and obviously Seth. And so he came in the fall or in the spring and gave us an update. Well, there's been a lot of very positive outcomes in his applied research. So what I mean by that in English is he's now using the equipment that we would buy at a commercial level to actually do the work. So no longer just lab equipment, real world equipment. And I don't want to take the thunder away, but he's going to come up, give us some really good information. And again, why is that important to you in Southeast Saskatchewan to hear this? Well, we just went through a rough time where we all thought that our mine was going to shut down. And luckily it's not. But there's a saying, it is every victory is temporary, every defeat is permanent. So what's going to happen when that threat happens again? Because in our world, that is going to happen again. We need to keep those people working in the mine. So if we can make graphite or this other project I'm working on, hydrogen, then when that threat happens again, we'll be better with it because we'll have all these other opportunities. And in the meantime, we got 3 things going on at the mine. How cool is that?
That's really cool. And of course, the other exciting thing coming up for Southeast Saskatchewan is the small nuclear reactors. And when I mentioned that Lisa McBride with GE for Nova Hitachi was going to be part of the conference, a few of my friends said, does that mean that's who I should invest in? I went, well, I don't really know, but at least you could find out more about the exciting news that's going to be coming to Southeast Saskatchewan.
This infomercial is it's not advice. We're just telling you, And it's funny in that thing. I'm not allowed to invest in any of this stuff, but man, would I if I could. But why is her presentation important? Well, the cool thing is Lisa is in charge of the entire nuclear division for Canada for GE, and she's coming here. So if you want to hear Lisa talk, the next opportunity you have is at the Canadian Nuclear Association. The ticket's $1,000.
Right.
So she's coming here. Why is she coming here? Well, she's coming here because it looks like we'll get number 2 and number 3 in the world for a small modular reactor. And she wants to have a conversation with the community. Why is that important to you? Well, where else in Canada do you have a community that is most of us are in support of nuclear, um, and we have a group of kids who are thinking of nuclear as a future job. That doesn't really happen anywhere else. So us showing up, talking to Lisa, where all these other people are going to see you talking with Lisa and seeing an interest, it's important because the way the world is, all that training is not going to happen in Southeast Saskatchewan. It will mean that your youth will have to leave. It will mean that those who are currently at the coal mine who might want to start working at the nuclear power plant when it happens, or those who are building, they're going to have to leave, or other people are going to have to come in to do that for us. So we need to show the world that we're interested to have that training, to have that skills brought into our community. And so by just simply showing up and taking advantage of that, we're going to create more jobs and more opportunities in our community.
And then just speaking on the educational front, as I understand it, you'll have presentations with the University of Regina, Southeast College, and then Suncrest College as well.
Yeah. So directly to a point, I love using stats so people can really appreciate what we're trying to do. So a couple of years ago, when I first started here in 2022, if you took the Trans-Canada border, went all the way to the US, from Alberta to Manitoba, that huge swath of land, there was nowhere someone over the age of 18 could go to learn computer science. In 2022, that's like saying there's nowhere in that space you can learn how to read and write the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
And so Southeast College, Tanya and Ryan have done this amazing job to bring a very innovative way to learn computer science where you create real software to solve a problem that a real business is paying you to create. And it's a really neat program. And then we have University of Regina. They're going to talk about engineering in energy projects. Well, what are we? We're the energy city, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, yeah, it's U of R, but Southeast College, Seth, and U of R, we've got an MOU to do things together. So this isn't more them just coming to you. They're going to bring this to us. So again, come learn what you can learn. I keep on talking about the youth, but the other thing is like, I'm going back to school at age 55.
Perfect.
Anybody can upskill at any time. So then we have Suncrest College, was up in Kenora, so another rural community that we're partnering with, and they're talking about some of their rural technology programs. So again, we're talking about like getting those skills, that education in a rural community without leaving your rural community.
Exactly. And then for this conference, September 23rd and 24th, just where can people find out more information about it? And then, of course, with grabbing the tickets for the event, where do they have to go for that?
Okay, so our website, unfortunately, it's a bit of a long name, but it's icedconference.ca. And if that's too hard for you to remember, just go to sethhub.ca. That's our main webpage, and you can just link in from there. And you can also just come by and talk to us. We're in the building in the parking lot at the Affinity Credit Union.